designer. There are a couple of reliable platforms that can offer you help with that. 99 Design and Rebel. Before you hire any designer, go through their portfolio, then communicate to them your brand vision and what you want. It is also recommended showing them some examples of things you like. And that's where our market research plays an important role in clarifying what you want and communicating your message. And last but not least, let's talk a bit about your product packaging design. When people visit a store to shop for products, they get overwhelmed with the amount of the product displayed on the shelf. Therefore, their eyes over the years have developed mental shortcuts to look for specific things. First, if they already have a brand name in mind, their eyes will blur and filter out all the noise and look for the logo of that brand. Everything else is noise and distraction. That's why we said your logo needs to be bold and identifiable from a distance. Second, if there is no specific brand name in mind, the eye gets attracted to intense, high saturated color contrast. Colors such as red, yellow, and orange, or light against dark, and vice versa. You can see in the following example that the less saturated and more dim the color is, the less it will pop up. In this group, mostly black, white, and red are the dominant colors of the composition. While in this example, you can see that bright and saturated colors are very contrasty and will jump out of the screen. A third factor that attracts the eyes is your packaging size in contrast to the surrounding packaging. The larger or smaller packaging compared to the surrounding composition, the more noticeable it becomes. The fourth factor the eye looks for is the shape of your packaging. Packaging that comes in unique shapes comparing to the ordinary and boxy packaging will attract more attention. Keep in mind that consumers read and research the product carefully. Therefore, you need to make sure that all of the information required for the purchase to happen presented on the packaging eliminates any kind of frustration, especially with today's impatient consumers with no time to consider. They have tons of options out there. The front side, which is the face of the product, needs to be bold, clean, and sell the outcome or the desirability of the product. It's the first impression, and it must be beautifully designed and attractive. The content of the product needs to be identified and spotted from a far distance. Packaging should also display the name of the brand and the information that the customer care about the most at first glance. Don't treat your packaging as a poster or a magazine page. Keep the front side clean and bold, and use the back side for clarifying and simplifying the extra information. Use your packaging to sell, not to show the component. Unless the components are designed beautifully and act as the selling point of your entire package. Let's look at the following protein bars packaging and try to analyze them together. The first bar looks clean and bold. Still, if I am just out of the gym and feeling hungry, the packaging does not tell me quickly what the product is or sell the desirability of the product. Unless I already know the brand name, it will be a hard sell. The second one is fantastic. I see the product in its most desirable image. I can have a feeling of what it is and how it looks like. I also see the name of the brand clearly, so that I can relate to the credibility of the brand. I can also quickly scan the most important facts that I need to know. The use of red is great, which will make the packaging pop out from a distance. The third bar has the same issue as the first one. It's hard to tell how the product looks and feels, and unless someone recommends this brand, I might just pass by it. The fourth bar is good, but the design is busy. When this gets presented on a shelf, I bet it would blend with the surrounding product. The dimensions of the product does not allow the design to be packed with much information. The fifth packaging looks outdated. The brand did not spend the time or effort to study the recent market and upgrade its look to appear desirable compared to the rest of the competition. The last bar, the brand name is clear, but I still have to spend an extra effort to understand what the product is. The contrast between the image and the background is low. The image of the cookies isn't clear and desirable enough to my eye. Now let's rule out some designs. Number 5 is out of the game. Numbers 2 and 4 seem to look the best in this group, but in the end I have decided that the winner is number 2. Great overall visual presentation. However, we are not done yet. Let's compare our winning packaging side by side against one of the biggest players in the industry, Nestle. The Nesfit packaging is very simple, looks desirable, and it shows the name of the brand. Let's make a test and duplicate that product on a product shelf and try to see it from a distance. Which one you think wins? For me, it's Nesfit. Regardless of the power of the brand name, Nesfit design looks the clearest, most readable design from a distance. And that's what we are trying to achieve when we are in a market, distinguishing our product on a shelf side by side with hundreds of different products. However, the more we move toward premium products, we simplify our design and focus more on the quality of materials and aesthetics of the brand, such as higher quality packaging materials and sophisticated printing techniques to communicate luxury and increase the perceived value of the brand. In luxury, less is more, which translates to less stuff but better quality. You should always visit the retail store that your product will be displayed at and understand the aesthetics of the store. Always try to distinguish your packaging from the packaging of the competition, be it from a far distance with big contrast differences to a close distance with differences in small details and aesthetics. As you can see that the more you sell low-cost products, the more things rely on simple flat graphics. Your packaging loses its quality and things blend together, and it becomes difficult to separate. It is not a good idea to compete head-to-head in a retail store unless you have a deep pocket for marketing or can set up your own stand. You need to advertise for your product and then probably send your customer to a retail store for a convenient pickup. Otherwise, comparing to a larger brand with an unlimited marketing budget, your chance of winning might be minimal, if not zero. And that's why direct-to-consumer marketing through your website is the best way to go as a small business. We will talk about that in the next video. Another thing to consider with your packaging design is that different people buy a product for different reasons. Therefore, if your packaging and presentation are just so-so, then you give the customer no other reason to choose but to compare on price. However, if your packaging design is created for a specific group of people with specific occasions and needs, then you give people a reason to buy your product that helps them achieve a specific outcome. What is suitable to buy for a lover or a gift for going out on a date differs from what is suitable to give to your family members or your colleagues. Always ask yourself, how can I make my product offering fits and attract a specific need, outcome, or desire? Keep in mind that to build a strong brand, you don't need as many products as you might think. You can always play with different theme of your packaging to widen your product line and make it look fresh and interesting. Also think about how consumers buy a product, starting from an entry level, where people want to give your product a test. Moving toward maybe your product is becoming a habit. Finally, let's buy a lot and save ourselves some money. You should also think about how customers will consume your products. Some might eat it on the go, while others like to eat it with friends while watching a movie in the theater, and others like to keep it aside on the office table. Some will store it for later use, and others will just gift it. Alright, that might be a lot to think about. But if you are just starting out, you don't have to worry about so many things. Keep everything that we talk about in the back of your mind for later use, and do not overwhelm yourself. Take it one step at a time. For now, give an extra effort to personalize your packaging. It's the first physical interaction between your brand and your customer. Do not make it feel generic. Make it the best first impression possible. You can always find affordable and easy ways to make your packaging look unique, personalized, and beautiful. Treat it as a personal gift, not as a shipping box. Alright, we have gone through a lot of information and you might need to have some rest. But before you go, here is your assignment for this week. I would like you to pick a product. It could be your product, or you could find a random product on Alibaba.com. Then I would like you to find and visually research 4 unique brands that comes with 4 distinct looks and aesthetics of the same product category. Then I would want you to pick one brand style that fits your brand type. Break it down and start learning and emulating it. Start by copying and then slowly evolve it into your brand style. You might find that customers have gotten used to a certain visual language associated with specific brand aesthetics, which will make it easy for the customer to identify the perceived and expected value of the brand. Therefore, know what you want to communicate, present it right, and your customer will mostly react. It is only a matter of perception. Alright, take care for now and have a rest. I will see you in the next video.